Welcome back to the Mental Wealth Champs podcast. My name is Isaiah, aka Ice. You know me. I'm the host of this podcast and the president of the Mental Wealth Champs Club. Today we got another special episode for you guys. We got, a few people on the track team as well as our coach, Coach Sab. So first off, we're gonna introduce each other real quick and kind of talk about things like that, what events you run, accolades if you have any, and why you chose Mount. So Andrew, you wanna go first?
I'll start first and last.
Yeah.
All right, my name's Andrew McVicker. I'm a senior, short sprinter, run the 100 to 200 and the 4x1. I am a one-time NCAA All-American in the 4x1.
Talk to him nice.
And why I chose Mount? From the get-go, I knew that this was my fit, this was my home. From my first visit to my fifth visit, they welcomed me with open arms.
Fifth.
Yeah.
That's a lot of visits.
That was crazy.
I
That's
took
how you know you
I
live
took
there.
like 3 or 4
Like 5
visits before I
times,
came here. But I just knew this was gonna be my home, and they welcomed me with open arms since.
Okay. My name is Sabrina Stocker, otherwise known as Coach Sab. I'm assistant track and field coach on Mount's track team for the men and the women. What's the next one? Accolades?
Yeah, if you have any.
I hold the school record in the 60 hurdles.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. Yeah. But
National qualifier.
national qualifier, we can say that.
Why'd you choose
Sad
Mount?
days. Why did I choose Mount? So, I guess the first time I was here, it just felt homey to me. And other schools I visited kind of give you that, oh, we're like a family.
Yeah.
And you see their team and you're like, no, they're not. But at Mount, I felt that and they didn't have to say that to me. So that's what drew me in. But
Been on this before. Maddy Miles, junior. Played basketball and ran track my first 2 years. Now I'm just running track full time. Long sprinter, mainly the 4, but also on the 4x1 randomly. Accolades. I'm a 5-time All-American. 4x4, 4x1, indoor 4x4. Yeah, no school records yet, but.
you do have a school record.
Oh, 4x4. No individual school record.
You don't know you have a school record?
I must forgot about the 4x4.
Yeah,
They just put that thing up, actually.
We did just put
The
those
4x4,
Yeah,
yeah.
just
We
check it
crushed
out.
that school record
Yeah.
by like
Okay.
10 seconds.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I mean, I guess I'll introduce myself. Y'all know me already. Ice. Played football here. You guys know that already. I ran track my freshman year.
What, for like one race? What was it?
One
race?
Actually, it was one race. It was one race.
in one home meet.
And
I love it.
I was gonna run the second race right before COVID.
Yeah, it was right before we got sent home.
But I got sick, and I think that's when I got COVID too. But yeah, so I have no accolades in track yet. I don't even know what events I'm gonna run. It's gonna be up to Coach Sab, so she'll let me know. But I'll probably run the 60 indoor
60,
for sure,
the 200.
and the 200.
I'll make you
Dabble in the 2 a little bit.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Why I chose Mount? I chose Mount. I got recruited for football. That's kind of what started my journey here. Was through football, but yeah, so we'll start from there.
I forgot my why.
Oh, what was your?
I chose Mount because I wanted to be able to do 2 sports, and I actually visited for basketball. Like, I didn't even get recruited for track, but I also wasn't really that great in high school, so.
Yeah, all you did was relays in high school. She had
Yeah.
never done the open 400.
I did the open once, and I ran like a 106.
Yeah, and what's your open?
A 55.
A
too.
55. So she didn't even know really. No, I don't think
I
anybody
ran the
really
1 and the
knew.
2, because I ran the 1 and the 2 in high school.
Yeah.
I went to regionals for that.
We got lucky with you.
Yeah, so then I was like, because I was between here and Marietta, and I was like, Marietta's track team, no offense, sorry. Can I do this?
Well, do
You know, I'll take on it, but.
Do you remember when it was during basketball and we were just figuring out who you
And
were?
I came in and I was like, I only do relays.
She was like, I only do the relays. I don't do the open. And she's the
Oh, I
best
get
open
it.
400 runner on the team.
You went from that to All American.
Yeah.
Well, just because,
That's
like,
crazy.
I just like running for other people, and I guess eventually, like, doing the open 4 became running for other people because, like, it gets us points. So.
Right.
But, like, when I did the 4x4, I liked it better because, like, with basketball, which I've kind of talked to Ice about, I like the team aspect of sports. So, for me, like, being on a relay, I like that I'm not doing it for myself, I'm doing it for other people, which I kind of like. But now with the open 4, I like that, like, the pressure is more on me sometimes and I don't have to worry about how other people are performing.
It's on you.
Which is what I actually like more about track than I kind of liked about basketball.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning. We'll just kind of go down the line, whoever wants to answer. But how long have you guys been running track, and when did you develop that love for the sport?
All right, we'll go on the line. I'll start. I've been running track since my 7th grade year, so it's 3, 7, 12, 11, 12 years. 11 years.
Something like that.
Math, numbers, something like
I'm
that.
not good at that.
Yeah,
so you
long
got
time.
You got it.
Long time. But the main reason I started track is because soccer was my main sport growing up. So I decided to run track to stay in shape for soccer. And I guess I like started developing a love for track and field when like my freshman and sophomore year of high school, when I was good, quote unquote. And I realized that I was making varsity teams as a freshman. I was a 4-year letterman, only sport I 4-year lettered in high school. But once I realized that like I could do something with my track and field career, I could take it somewhere like up past high school to the collegiate level. That's when I really started to take it seriously and develop a serious love for it.
Here you are.
And here I am.
So I started running track in 7th grade as well. I had never done, like, I was a dancer and a cheerleader. And in cheerleading, there's this jump that looks like the hurdle form. And all my friends were like, "You're really good at that. You should try track." And I was like, "Okay." No, it was like a right side.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's like
the herky jump.
Yeah, okay.
Back in the day, they called it herky. But yeah, I was really good at it, and they were like, "You should try track." And then I ended up trying it, and my second race ever, I fell over a hurdle in the warm-up, broke my wrist, and got a concussion. And my mom was like, "You're never running track again." I was like, "Mom, I'm good. Like, please let me keep going." And then I think when I realized I was good at it, it kind of made me hungry to like see how good I could get. But yeah, so I ran at Mount for 4 years. I was just a short sprinter and hurdler, and then I've been obsessed with it ever since I started. And clearly I still am, as I'm coaching now. So I'm retired now, but I ran for like 10, 11 years.
I did dance and gymnastics until I was 11 or 12. Then I started running track and playing basketball. Just ran track because when I first played basketball, I thought I was pretty fast. So I was like, why not see what I can do, I guess. Honestly, hated track most, like probably until like maybe in high school I just didn't take it seriously until like my junior year when like, because like I kind of could do like the short sprints and I was fast enough where like I would barely even go to practice. Like I was just one of those people which are like the worst, but I was. And then my junior year, I started doing the 4x4, which was different from the long sprints, and I qualified for regionals. I started taking it seriously, and then my senior year, I lost because of COVID. So that was pretty tough for me just because, like, after coming off of a really good junior year, I wanted to see, and I started to take it seriously. Then when I came my freshman year, I was more so just going to do track just to feel it out. I just never really enjoyed running until, like, I came here, honestly, just because I just hadn't had that team feeling in the past, so it was nice to have here. And then my freshman year, did well, decided I really, like, enjoyed it, and then I just started to, like, want to watch everything, watched like Worlds, all like the Olympics, all that stuff. Now I'm like the Teefers.
Yeah, she knows everything. She could have probably read off the Teefers list from 1 to 50.
Yeah.
Like in multiple events.
Like for all divisions. Like now I just like love it.
Teefers. We should probably say what Teefers is.
Oh, it's like the track. It basically has all the
it's the rankings.
Yeah, all the rankings for every division for indoor and outdoor
in the nation.
Yeah,
so.
And a lot of us on the team are a bit obsessive, and we check it a lot. Like especially when you're like number one for like a split second, you like when I was number one in the 4, like the first like week of meets, I like screenshot it.
The first week,
take a picture.
No, I had to not look at those because I would get mental.
But it can become, it can become really toxic.
I would make people not tell me. And then one time, a friend from class DM'd me on Instagram and was like, "Congrats on second in the nation." And I was like, what are you talking about? And it was because she had no idea. I was like, I wish I didn't know that.
And it's hard because, like, also you're looking at times and you have no idea what their meet was like. But then I am really obsessive, so I started watching all the meets. After, like, before I would race, after I would race, I would, like, go watch them, see what their splits were, see what their weather was like.
Yeah.
And I was like, they ran that in perfect sunny degree weather. We just ran in pouring rain.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I, like, just became really engulfed in it.
Yeah.
And now I'm here.
For me, I mean, I'm technically a rookie at this. I didn't even run track in high school. I've been playing football since I was 4. I swam my senior year in high school too. I've always wanted to join track, but I don't know. I just been so immersed in football. I just, was my first love and everything like that. But I decided to run track my freshman year. So at my senior year in high school, I kind of like fell in love with lifting, and I was in the gym a lot. And so, of course I got bigger and stuff like that, and I wasn't as, fast as I, should be at the receiver position. And then, after, it was my exit meeting for my freshman year for football. And one of my coaches told me, he was like, oh, we're thinking about putting you at Y, which is tight end. So I didn't want to put my hand in the dirt. I didn't want to block.
You want to be a big man.
I was like, you know what, I need to get faster. So that's when I actually talked to, Brandon Ransom. I talked to him about joining track. And
so
then
I partially recruited him to come out.
Yeah, he did.
We were neighbors.
Yeah.
Lived on the floor and
right next to each other. McCready. That's where it all began, in McCready. But no, yeah, started freshman year, and then it was hard. Like the practices, I wanted to quit every day, but
it'll do that to you.
Yeah, it'll do that to you. But like, I know it was gonna be worth it if I was gonna stick it out. But unfortunately, COVID happened, things like that. But I always, look back at freshman year and think about like the relationships I made, through, track and stuff like that. And just the energy our freshman year, I feel like was unmatched. And I kind of like want to be in that, environment again. So yeah, I'm a rookie. I'm excited, where this journey takes me.
See, that's the biggest thing though. This is, you claim yourself to be a rookie your first year, but being a senior, you've already assumed that leadership position.
Yeah.
The growth that I've seen from August, whatever day we started class, to now is crazy.
Yeah. And
you do carry a lot of energy at practice, and people feed off of that stuff. Like, someone comes in and they're like, oh, I hate this, I don't want to be here. Like, that weighs on not just that person's shoulders, but everybody's. They're like, I don't feel like doing this. Like, people absorb that. So when people come in and bring that pep and that energy and that, like,
you
excitement.
Show up every day with crazy energy.
Yeah.
Crazy energy.
honestly, I don't know how, because
He said, I don't know.
I don't know how, like, I be tired. I don't, like, sometimes I don't even want to run. Like, I have shin splints right now,
Right.
but I still, like,
You gotta fake it till you make it.
you have to fake it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in this weird position in my life where, like, I stopped playing football, so I don't know, like, exactly what I want to do in my life. I have a lot of, anxiety and stuff like that, thinking about the future. But the one thing I do look forward to, like, in my day is going to practice, because
It makes me very happy.
I don't want to, I don't want to go to class, like, it's just boring. I don't want to, sit through lectures and stuff like that. So it's like, I need to get my energy out somehow. So going to practice and just being around, the team and you guys and just pushing each other, that, I feed off of that energy, and I hope to, bring that energy every single day. So
I think that's a big misconception about track and field. Like, I know how, like Maddy said earlier about how, like, she didn't get, like, the team aspect from it. But I think specifically our team especially has a huge team, like, atmosphere, team energy that we just feed off each other, especially when we come around conference season and stuff like that.
Yeah, I love that it's not one-sided either. Like, it's not just the men's team and it's not just the women's team. Like, when I ran here, it was just, like, in my beginning years, freshman, sophomore year, it was just the men's team. And we were just kind of like, oh, so-and-so did good on the women's side. But, like, now it's like...
What do you think have changed, though?
Honestly, the attitude on the women's side has always been different on the men's side. And that's normal, I think, in men and women's sports. To a certain extent, I think there's some differences that you see, but the women that we had on the team weren't dedicated, they weren't motivated. I don't think that has to do with being a guy and a girl. It's just the group that they had at that time. Yeah. And so when I came in as a freshman, I had to be like a leader on the team because we didn't have them. You know what I mean? There were a couple people I had to look up to, like Katie Godecki, but she played soccer, so in the preseason there's nobody to look up to. So it's like we kind of had to get it out of the mud and like create that
culture.
That culture, yeah. So like, I don't know. I feel like I've played a big role in bringing that team up. Now I don't know. I mean, you could say more to that than I could, but I feel like the men's and the women's team.
I'd have to agree because like your class specifically is the ones that were juniors and seniors when I came in, and that's the ones who literally like trained me to be in this atmosphere and this culture that we still do.
You got to grab those young ones and pull them under your wing. Like, come with me. We're doing something else. I don't know what they're doing over there. Which sucks. It had to be that way, but that's how it was. And like, you gotta ask for it out of those upperclassmen. But it is kind of awkward being someone young, sophomore, talking to a senior. Hey, you need to bring some more energy, and they're like, "What are you saying to me?" It's like it's hard to do that, but I tried. It's really uncomfortable to do, but yeah, it's just you gotta pull the people that are willing. You gotta pull them along to the side, and I think now that's why we have the team that we have, because the couple of people in my grade did pull those people along, and it was like let's make the change, and I think it has changed. I mean, our men's and women's team, I say this to recruits, so I know this. We're one of the 2 teams in the nation that place top 10 on the men's and the women's side.
Like one of the
2 teams in the whole nation in Division III. Mount Union was one of them.
Is the other one Morris?
I don't know. I don't care.
We don't like him anyway.
I don't even care.
We don't like him anyway.
I'm just trying to remember that stat because I saw that.
It probably is. But yeah, we are one of those 2, so it's like...
How do you not know? You know all the
Yeah,
times
she does
and everything.
I'm pretty sure it's Loris.
If I had to guess, I'd
It makes
I'm
so much
almost
sense.
100%. I'm almost 100% sure because it wasn't Rowan and it wasn't Wartburg, so I had to be Morris.
But yeah, so I like that we have it on both sides. I think that leads to more success for everybody, because it's like we're kind of 2 teams in one, but it never feels like 2 teams. Like I remember one year, it was my senior year, women lost indoor, men won indoor. And to everybody, like, I don't think that felt like a win to the men. Yeah. Like, and it was separated because it was COVID, so it was like...
I can tell you we were pissed.
Yeah, it's like, it hurts.
Like, we were mad that y'all didn't win.
It hurts. Like, especially, like, coming through your senior year, it's like, we took second, but, like, what does that mean? That doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah. So, this question right here is actually for you, Coach Sab. I want you to let the audience know, like, what a day or what a week looks like, you know, being a coach or a track and field athlete here.
So, I'll let you guys talk about being an athlete, since y'all are really in that right now. So for me, since we're about to start up official practice, I'll kind of go through a week like that. But so in a day, I'll get up. This is what I'm going to try to do. This is what I normally do. I'll get up at 6:30. I try and eat a little something. I go work out in the morning. I go home. I take my dog for a walk. And then I go into the office. I'll be there from like 9:30 until 2-ish. So during that time, it seems like what I'm saying doesn't take up a lot of time, but it really does, because it's always sporadic too. Like sometimes I'll give a tour. Sometimes I have to get in contact with recruits. I'm calling them, I'm texting them, I'm calling high school coaches. I'm trying to keep this team being good, so I got to talk to these young kids and try and bring them in here. But I'll do that type of stuff. I get stuff sorted out for the week. We've got 100 and something kids on our team, so short sprinters and long sprinters alone, we probably got, 60 of you guys?
There's 75 on each side.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people that I'm dealing with on the daily. So there's injuries that come along with our training, but I like to handle it before. Yeah, this guy knows.
We'll talk about that.
We'll get to that part.
We'll get to that part.
I like to handle it before it becomes a problem.
Don't look at me.
So, in order to do that, it involves modifying workouts. So, a lot of the time I spend in my office is modifying things. Like, we have someone on our team who's a double leg amputee. I have to rewrite the whole lifting for him. And I say have to. I love doing it because it lets me use, everything that I've learned in school, because I majored in exercise science. So, all that workout writing stuff I love to do. Yeah. So he's kind of challenged me a little bit, but I love doing it. And there's someone
make you better, though.
Yeah, and I love it. I'm like, oh my god, and he tells me, I'm like, be open with me. If you hate this, tell me. If you like this, this is new to me. It's just what it is to you. And then I have another person on the team who's got hip impingement, so I got to rewrite all the lifts for her, and sometimes we got to rearrange the week. Yeah, so it's there's a lot of things I'm doing in the office. Then I get an hour or two to go home and play with my dog a little bit, and then practice my little Raja bear. And then from 3:30 until whenever I can convince myself to leave practice, I'm at the track again. So, yeah, especially on Mondays. Tomorrow I'll probably be there till 7 o'clock. Mm-hmm. I promise you, I'll probably be there till 7 o'clock. At the earliest, I'll leave at 7. Mm-hmm. But it's long days. But the practices are what, like you said, I look forward to that stuff.
Yeah.
Like at the beginning of the year is so hard because I can't be there for you guys. It drives me crazy. Like that's my favorite part. So when it gets to practice time, I'm like, I never want to leave. And so that's the day for me.
Official practice starts this week, though, right?
Monday.
Tomorrow. You best be there. 3:15.
Of course I'm gonna be there.
Tomorrow. Yeah, I'm so excited. That's literally the only thing. The only thing that's been keeping me going.
She gets to officially be coach.
I know, you're gonna hear me. Someone was like, you don't like yell enough for us. I'm like, I'm not.
Because she's not allowed to.
I'm like,
she's not allowed to.
When official practice starts, you're gonna be sick and tired of hearing me yell across the track. You're gonna hear my voice and be mad.
All right, what's your day, your week look like? You know, being a track athlete here.
As like an athlete.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's like fairly similar to y'all too, depending on homework time. Because I know you do a lot of homework all the time.
All the time. She was just doing it right before.
Exactly. No. Like my first class at 8:45, so I get up a little bit early in the morning, go to that, I get a big break in between. My next class 8 till 12:30, so I try to come back home, rest, eat a little bit before I go to class. I have class from 12:30 to 2:50, I think it is, and then practice will start at either 3:15 or 4:15. So we'll come home from class, grab a quick bite to eat, grab a snack or something. Get mentally ready for practice, my favorite part of the day. So like Monday, tomorrow will be speed day, big lift day. Big excited for that. We'll be there for a couple hours, like she said. I'm there just as long as she is. Till
whenever I can convince
7:30, whatever.
Ourselves to leave.
However long it takes us to finish. And then, we go home, grub up, replace everything we just lost.
Mm-hmm.
Homework, whatever I gotta do. Mm-hmm. Watch my Steelers lose.
You're a Steelers fan?
You best believe it. Have been my whole life.
Who are you fan of, Sab?
Honestly,
I don't watch the NFL, but I just tell people Ravens because I like Lamar Jackson.
Because you like Lamar Jackson?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm a fan. I was a Browns fan, but they're a little bit controversial lately. So I don't know if I am a fan of any NFL team right now. But we don't need to get into that.
Go Big Blue. 6-1. You already know.
Get out of here.
Who's the Big Blue?
The Giants.
The Giants. How you not know?
Clearly.
I just said I don't want to really watch the NFL.
Okay, you don't watch the NFL, but let's go back, on topic. So what's your day look like?
Mine? Mine definitely is different. I'm a biochemistry major, and I want to go to medical school, so I'm always just doing stuff, so...
Yeah, med school versus sport business.
My Monday, Wednesday, Friday is really busy, so I have a 7:30 Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which is biochemistry. I get done at 8:45. Mondays, I normally go to counseling at 8:50, so normally going right from there, grab breakfast, eat, talk to my girl. She's great. She's helpful. But if it's Wednesday or Friday, I don't have that, and then I don't have class until 11:15. But I have to go to office hours or I have to tutor. So normally I'm in Bracy, which is our science building. You guys should probably know that, but I tutor or I go to office hours until 11. Then I go to my psychology class, because I'm a psych minor at 11:15. Go to that. Then I have class at 12:15, which is microbiology. And that goes until 1:45. On Wednesdays, I work after because I need to pay those bills. But not on Wednesdays. I have research because I do breast cancer research with a professor here. His name is Dr. Miller. So normally I have that. And then on Fridays, I actually have a class at 1:45. So normally my day spans from 7:30 until 3. And then try to find time to eat lunch. Don't always, but try to. And then I go to practice at 4:15. I would say there are some days I look forward to practice. Tuesdays, which are days we have intervals. So for people who don't know, intervals are just like, we spike up. They're like our hardest workouts of the week. Intervals and spiking up gives me a lot of anxiety, no matter how easy or how hard the workout is. just because it's the closest thing in my mind to racing. But once I'm done, it's always really stress relieving, but definitely have to mentally prepare for that. Normally I'm trying to figure out the splits and things like that beforehand, listen to some music, watch like New Girl or something to like just ease my mind.
New Girl.
But for most of the rest of the week of practice, I'm like fine. It's mostly just Tuesdays. After I normally come back and work at the MAC, or I tutor, or I do my homework in the library. And then I go to bed and do it all over again the next day. So.
Busy gal.
That is, yeah, you're busy.
Yeah.
me and Andrew, you know, we're sports
you
business.
make my little easy.
I know. I mean, it's still hard though. Like for me, I mean, I have 3 classes Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then I have 1 class Tuesday, Thursday. But all the time in between, then I'm usually doing homework or something productive, cleaning or just trying to stay busy. But yeah, like it's definitely an adjustment and hard to manage everything all at once. But like the more you do it, I feel like, especially when you get to that senior year, it becomes easier. I mean, it's still hard, but it's just easier to manage everything because you've been so accustomed to doing it.
I mean, I
doing
love
it
the
for
grind,
years.
honestly. Like,
Yeah.
when people are like, I don't know how you do it. Like, as much as like I can complain about it, I mean, I like love it. Just because like I don't know. Like, when I came into college, when I was in high school, I didn't even want to go to college, really. Like, when I was in high school, I was like, because I have ADHD, so I was like, I can't really do anything. Didn't know that there were, like, accommodations, like, ways for me to study. So I was like, this is it, I guess, whatever. Then when I came to college, I wanted to challenge myself, which is why I chose biochemistry. And I was like, okay, we'll see it. And ever since, I mean, like, I have a lot more free time, like, a lot, now that I'm not playing basketball as in comparison to track. But somehow my schedule has just gotten busier. I don't really know how, but I like the grind. I like having a lot on my plate. I think it gives me a lot of purpose and satisfaction, but I think that sometimes can feed into some anxiety I get, especially when I'm not doing something, because like on the weekends sometimes, like especially during fall break, that was really hard for me because I was like I'm doing nothing. Like, there's other things I could be doing. I need to be getting ahead, need to be doing something. And I, like, really forced myself to just be, like, present and be, like, just take a break.
Yeah.
Because there's, like, a big difference. Like, burnout isn't, like, a reward. Like, that's not, like, a medal of honor, like, to me. And I feel like a lot of people who have hard majors and just in general, because even though you guys are sports business, like, even education, people, like, make jokes that's not hard. It's hard for you in some way. Every class there's going to be something hard. But, like, burnout isn't, like, a badge of honor. Like, you need to take rest and you need to, like, recover. And that's been really hard for me to understand just because, like, being pre-med, everyone talks about, like, work hard, work hard, work hard. And then you work hard for, like, 8 more years after you graduate. It's, like, when you just take the time to just, like, actually just, like, treat yourself. Like, the badge of honor is that you've been working so hard, so now you get to rest, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I have a question for you, just, from you saying that. Like, how do you know when to take a break?
Just with like biochemistry is like probably one of the hardest courses, that is probably the hardest course offered in my major. It's one of the courses in which people who want to go to medical school, normally it can derail their path and they will change their plans just because it's so challenging. And I think it's been mostly the people I've surrounded myself with, because last year I was in a not healthy relationship where I was constantly trying to distract myself in order to keep myself busy so I wasn't thinking about it. And this year, just with the different people around me, like even you, like me and you didn't even talk last year, like, and we talk a lot about like mental health. So it's been mostly just getting the counseling that I needed, going there, like telling my mom about how I'm feeling, telling my friends when I need them. Like I talked to her the other day, sometimes I just go silent, sometimes I just need people to ask me how I'm doing. It's mostly just like recognizing like, when am I burning out? Because when I start to get tired and I'm feeling like it's affecting my athletics, which it was during this semester, I'm like, that can't, like that crossover can't happen because I can't perform the way I need to. I can't be a good student. No matter how well you study, if you feel bad and you're exhausted and you're burnt out, you will not perform well. There's just absolutely no way. So I guess there came a breaking point where like I was sleeping, like I wanted to sleep all day. Like I didn't want to go to class. I was just like, I just didn't feel like myself, and I was like, I just cannot do this. And it wasn't easy because I was like, you're not doing what you need to do, and I got a little bit behind. But at the same time, like, I talked to my teachers, and like luckily enough they were very understanding about the fact that I needed to take time with my mental health just because I'm always doing something. So I guess it was just kind of like recognizing how I was feeling internally, and also the like observations of other people, if that makes sense.
No, that does. Do you guys have anything to say about that? Also, like, when do you know like you need a break? You know what I mean?
I mean, like, I'm almost like the opposite. I need to like stop taking breaks. I'm like the opposite of Maddy.
Okay,
I need to like figure out when to stop taking breaks, when to stop like doing nothing all the time, because I'm not a fan of school. Like college didn't appeal to me. If I wasn't running track in college, I probably never would have went.
Yeah, me too.
So like doing the whole school thing is not my favorite thing to do. It's nobody's favorite thing to do. But like finding the motivation to make sure I get my work done and get it done on time and stuff like that has always been like a struggle for me.
Yeah, for me, I mean, I would say I've always been a person to, you know, just lock in and get my work done so I can, you know, play the sport that I love, right? So that was my mindset, you know, always growing up. So, but it always came to a point, and I knew like when it was happening, like my anxiety will reach a certain point, and I'm like, okay, I know I need to take a step back and relax, because I'm the type of person that just wants to get things done. So I can't have that time to relax. But yeah, once my anxiety gets to a certain point, I'm like, I need to take a break and I like taking walks. Like, I took a walk before this, you know, to clear my mind, you know, just calm my nerves and stuff like that. But yeah, taking walks, taking naps especially, helps me, you know.
You need them.
Yeah, you need them,
dude.
especially, you know, with our long days and stuff like that. For me, I need to take naps like before practice and stuff like that. So when I come, I have that energy. But so yeah, we talk about the grind and stuff like that. Let's talk about how we mentally prepare ourselves for like practice and meets and stuff like that. How do you guys do that?
Well, I guess like I'll go down the line again.
Yeah.
I'm very, 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 very superstitious person about, especially.
As you literally stood a pole on our way in. He was
No,
like,
he didn't.
I know, but he was like, I purposely normally.
But like, I did say that. But especially with my athletics more than anything else in my life, I am very superstitious. I do the exact same routine every day before practice and before every meet, before everything. So like before practice, if I don't have my pack of fruit snacks before practice, it is not a good day, you know. Or if I don't follow my pre-meet routine step by step, and it's the same way every single time. It's part of my OCD. But if it's not the same every single time,
OCD too?
Oh, big time. It throws off my whole flow, my whole mojo, and just like, I don't know. You want me to like go into what do I be doing?
I want to know.
Yeah.
So like, I'll do.
The people want to know.
I'll do my little pre-meet routine, right? So say we're at like an away meet or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It all starts back at home, back at the house. Everything is set up the same from like my bag. I wear the same thing to almost every meet, depending on the weather, of course. But we'll get to the meet, right? I like to watch field events first. Shout out my jumpers. Y'all don't get enough love. I like to watch y'all first, but when we're getting closer to like my race time, my warm-up time, I like to separate myself from everybody for a little bit, get my headphones on, get the music flowing, just try to find that zone, right? Because we're mentally prepared to perform and compete at a high level.
What is your pre-meet song?
So there's 2 stages to that. Right?
There's 2 stages.
This is I'm telling you. So I start off with the big beats, right? The over the ear headphones, and I am jamming the rock music, right?
Okay, fair.
So like my Metallica, my Black Sabbath, you know, the hard stuff, right? Get me going. And then when it's time to go warm up, I switch to the AirPods. See, rock music makes me want to like lift heavy things. Rap music makes me want to run fast.
Yeah.
So I listen to rock first, you know, get the juices flowing, get pumped up, and then I switch to the AirPods because they can't roll my headphones on. And that's when I switch into my more rap hip-hop playlist. I get my warm-up done, you know, all my stretches, warm-up routines, all the same every time. And you best believe I have my fruit snacks before I run. Need them.
Gotta do it.
And then, you know, it's me time. By the time we get to racing, get the boys together, whoever I'm running with the team, make sure their heads are on straight, and we're ready to perform, compete at a high level every single day.
Every day.
How did you prepare when you ran here?
So I used to be kind of like you with the whole same routine thing, but I had to learn how to not do that because when it didn't go the way that I wanted it to, it would ruin everything for me, and I didn't want anything to have that effect on me other than like what I was capable of that day. So I always have headphones on the way. I got my music going. On the bus, I got my music going no matter what. When I'm sitting down watching other things, I've got my headphones in. I was one of those people that was like, don't talk to me type thing. And like you and like Michelina would always be someone who I was always around because we ran the same events, but she'd always just be talking to me just loud enough that I could hear her through my headphones. I'd be like, yes. And she's like, sorry, one more question. But I was just one of those, but I don't know, that was what got my head on straight. Some people are like they can talk and Maddy, talk and like talk about anything. I'm like, no, because if something comes up that ticks me off, it's gonna ruin the rest of my day. So I just I'm very to myself before I compete. After I compete, I'm ready to do all that. I'm like, yeah, Maddy, we can talk now. Well, when we were teammates, but that's how I was like. I liked rap music, like rap, hip hop, R&B before. Like when I'm just watching stuff, I listen to some R&B. But when it's time to get up, put the shoes on, now we got the rap music on. But what was I gonna say? Oh, as a coach now, I thought I would have things that I would do as a coach that made, like it was like some superstition.
Like a routine.
I try not to, because in the job that it's not about me. None of it is about me. Like I don't think about myself one time on meet day. Like sometimes it'll get to 5 o'clock and I'm like, I didn't eat anything today. It's like I'd been up since 6. So it's like I try not to do anything like that as a coach because it's not about me. I guess one thing that I did always do, it was like a little handshake. It wasn't a handshake. It's just like, have I ever done it to you?
With the hurdlers?
You just hit at the top, but then you clap your own hands at the bottom. That was something that I always did with my teammates, and I do that with my athletes before they race. That's something that I do like to do. Dom DeShook is he'll send someone to go find me on the other end of the track to do that before he races. Mm-hmm. Like Julia's always running up, Dom needs you for the handshake. And I'm like, let's go.
Where did that handshake come from? Did it just happen?
I just did it with, it was like my I don't remember. I just did it ever since I was in college. I don't think I did it in high school. I just did it with my friend Tori. Mm-hmm. She started track with me my freshman year, and I think we did it one time. But we did this, but then we swung our hands around and clapped at the bottom, so I was like, okay. And I just did that to everybody else, so then I just did it every meet. So if I had a teammate on the line with me, I'm going over there, and I was doing that. So now I do that if I'm at the line before my athletes race out. They like it. Yeah. I'm like, I like it too. It makes me feel good. I don't know.
Before practice, really any day but Tuesday, nothing changes for me. Tuesday, like I'm not the only superstitious thing I do on race days is I don't eat lunch on meet days. I eat like a big breakfast. Either I eat, well, not a big breakfast. I guess a bagel's not a big breakfast, but I either eat a bagel. Shout out Dave's Bread.
Big breakfast. One piece of bread.
Or I get from the B&B, I think her name is Debbie. Shout out Debbie. I get eggs, toast, hash browns, and I get my eggs dippy, so over easy. Mm-hmm. Get that. I don't eat lunch. I'll normally eat a Cliff Bar or a pack of fruit snacks. The reason I don't eat lunch stems from basketball is because they got subs, and I'm a picky eater, so I just got used to not eating lunch. So now when I eat lunch, it's like weird.
Eating lunch on meet days is so hard to do.
It is very hard. I never did it. I would just eat snacks throughout the day. I could never sit down and eat a lunch. But some people could. Some people can eat a sandwich.
Like Ken eats pasta. I'm like, bro, no.
I just am too anxious to eat that much.
Like before she runs 100, she'll be like, pasta. I'm like, what's nuts? Yeah. And so now
she's built different.
I know.
She is though.
Like I can't. Dude.
But with practice, just on Tuesdays, I always eat an apple. I always have an apple. And on race days.
I had to drive to the grocery store to get apples for her one time.
When we were trying to qualify our 4x4 for indoor nationals at Ohio Northern, I needed an apple. They were like, eat a banana. I was like, no.
I was like, let's go, Maddy.
I don't know why. There's something about it. Is just like it's fulfilling. It's satisfying. It's just so good.
Granny Smith apple. What kind of apple?
Yeah, Granny Smith. Sometimes I like a Honeycrisp. Honeycrisp are really good. And then music, I have a weird
Very
music
strange.
ritual. I have to listen to Pocket Full of Sunshine to
And
start.
it's never in headphones.
It's always
It's
out
out
loud.
of your phone. Nobody wants to hear
Because my
it.
AirPods fall out, so I just stopped wearing them. So I
It's
listen.
never through headphones.
Start with Pocket Full of
Shaking my head.
Sunshine. Start with Pocket Full of Sunshine, then have to listen to Dancing Queen, which I listen to with Tyler Gill, Matt McBride, Nick Gale Hayden. Listen to that. Neff. I almost said Tyler Neff. I was like, who's Tyler Neff? Sing that. Then we go to rock because I like rock, but I'm more into Queen. So listen to Don't Stop Me Now. Some of those, Fat Bottom Girl, stuff like that. Listen to that. Then I'm just joking around normally. Like, I was at Nationals, I was joking with the girls. I was like, should we jog this?
Shit chatter.
Like, we're about to
Madison
race for
chit
the
chat.
like the National 400 final. I'm like, should we jog this guy? Like, come on.
I would hate to race.
I just like am normally laughing, which everyone gets annoyed about, but I cannot be serious because then I start getting, my heart starts to race. And normally, like, right before I get into the blocks, I'm in the blocks, almost every time I'm like, should I pretend to fall? Like, literally, because I'm just like, why? I'm just like, if I just fall, or I want to raise my hand and be like, can we restart? Like, because I just get so, once I'm in the blocks, I'm just so anxious. And normally, I have my grandpa who passed away last year. I have like his initials and his date of death, which was June 21st, 2021. I have it written on the inside of my shoe. So this year, at least, I always look at the inside of my shoe. That normally, like, I don't know how, but it just like every single nerve in my body is just like gone. And then like that's normally right before the gun goes. And then yeah, so I'm not super superstitious. I normally just stay loose, joke around.
We both forgot something that we both used to do. Hair.
Oh,
The
I
hair's
have to have
gotta
my hair
be
done.
spot.
It's dude.
On.
Weekday turns into
I
sad
wear
braid salon.
spot
Like,
on.
My Nationals drip was crazy. I had lightning bolt earrings. I have to have my nails done. I had a lightning bolt on my nails, and then we did for finals. We did a
Zigzag
lightning bolt part.
Ooh.
Are you kidding?
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
Like, and then I
Wait,
got
just too much.
and we both have matching tattoos because I have this lightning bolt tattoo on my ankle, and she has hers on her wrist.
Well, we have another friend. Who
And we
has
have
it.
Michelina who has it empty. So lightning bolt is something I care a lot about.
That's fire.
So yeah. So now I can look at that.
Yeah, for me,
Fun fact.
I mean, I haven't yet to have the time to mentally prepare for a meet, really.
what about like your pre-game? You know.
Well, for football, I would. I always had a layout, my uniform layout, like what I was gonna wear pregame the night before.
I do that too.
The night, I even did that during like school, like.
But does it have to be the same? Like, do you have to wear the same?
No, that's nasty.
Why you-
That's nasty. Why would I-
I mean, like, not
I
why
have
is that
meat day
nasty if you
socks.
clean them?
Okay, no, I see what you're saying.
Like,
But no, I
you
don't do that
clean your
necessarily.
underwear? You're like
I
that.
mean, I have meet-day compressions. I wouldn't say more.
I have
That's
meat
what
day
I'm saying,
sports
'cause
bra
he's like,
too,
I have to
one
wear
that makes
every
me
day.
feel.
in like.
I'm not that.
Because I'm not that way. I wear whatever.
Like my
I
uniform's gotta be the
find.
same. Like I don't keep track of my socks. Who does? That's weird.
Oh, I did.
But I have my same meet day
Pink
compressions,
accents.
my jersey obviously,
Pink
and then
spikes.
I have my meet day earrings that I wear. There's only one pair I'll ever race in, and I have to have my gold chain on.
Yeah.
Period.
But just to go back to what I was saying, preparing for like football games and stuff like that, I would. I really didn't talk to anyone beforehand. The game, I
Felt
just
that.
locked in, headphones in my own world, dancing, singing the music, whatever, just locked in. But once it got closer to the game, I always have my journal with me. Like I always have my journal in my track bag, but I would journal before the game, just
Oh, I love
try to
that.
focus on things I can't control, and then
That's right.
let everything else go.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how I prepared for football. But for practice, like now, my thing is like, especially when it's going to be a hard workout, like I'm already knowing it's going to be hard, so let's just have fun while we do it. So I like to make people laugh. I like to say the craziest things at practice. I just want to make people smile, and once I see people smile and laugh, that makes me happy. And I'm not, I'm not nervous or anything about the workout. I'm just relaxed in my own world, like I said. But I like to take naps before practice. Even with football, I did that. I like to have candy, like Nerds. I had that before.
He stayed
Oh,
Nerds,
you
box of
showed me
Nerds.
that. Yeah.
Nerds, Sour Patch Kids. Even sometimes, like I'll have like almonds or something like that. But I always have to have candy. That's my thing. But since this is a mental health, club podcast, I kind of want to touch on like any mental health experiences that you guys have faced, whether just being in college or pertaining your sport. If anyone wants to start first.
I'll just go first.
I was gonna say, if you're ready, then
Go
I'll
right ahead.
So a big thing for me, this has been my entire athletic career, especially in college though, has been injuries. The injuries have not been nice to me. Am currently hurt and have had 4 different hamstring injuries. In last year, I had a grade 3 ankle sprain that took out my entire indoor season. My ankle injury was the worst mentally that has ever happened to me. I almost quit track because of it. The toll it took to, because it was months recovery, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it was. I couldn't walk. I was in a boot for weeks. I was on crutches for weeks. Not only being hurt and being taken out of my own season, but having to show up to practice every day and watch my teammates and watch my friends run and compete week in and week out. And the big thing for me was I know that I can't compete for the team. I can't do anything for me. So I had to come up with an outlet of some sort to get this pressure off of me, I guess. And I guess one thing I tried to do every day was be the best athlete coach that I could be. Was show up to practice, especially with Sab and the sprints, coaching them up.
Yeah, you helped me out.
To the best that I could, being the best team cheerleader that there was, rolling around on my scooter at meets and stuff.
He did do that.
But it was not a fun time in my athletic career for sure. And it kind of set me back to set back the expectations I had and made me want to work that much harder to get back where I left off from my last outdoor season. But injuries have always been a struggle for me. Still are, obviously, but trying to get better every day.
That's right.
One day at a time.
Okay, me?
Yes, you.
So my biggest issue as an athlete, I'll talk from an athlete perspective, was worrying about myself. There's this quote, I don't know who it's by, but comparison is the biggest thief of joy.
Yeah.
So that quote, when I was a freshman, I was not good. I came in a lot over my competition weight. I was not where I was supposed to be. So freshman year and sophomore year, I lost a lot of weight, and I don't think anybody ever thought that I would be decent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone had any clue of what I was capable of other than myself. So I came back my sophomore year. I had lost 30 pounds over the summer total. I was just real muscular girl, and then all I did over the summer was run, so I lost a lot of it. But I was fit. I was ready to go, and so this was my first taste of being good, I guess. So you kind of go to meets, and it's I PR'd the first meet by a huge amount in just the 60 hurdles. So it was you get that taste of success, and you just want more and more and more and more. But I should have been super proud of myself, but I wasn't because I didn't win. So in a sport like track, it's you base your worth off of times and first place, second place, third place. But I never based my performance after what I learned. You can't base your performance off of a place. I PR'd and I was still mad. You can't do that to yourself. I would rather PR and place last than run a horrible race and win. And the win doesn't matter to me at that point. It's I want to be better myself. So it was I just stopped comparing myself to people. A big goal of mine was to make it to the national meet. So I would check those rankings. I would sit in class, 90-minute classes. I talk about memorize the list. I had every scenario mapped out in my head of how I could get into that top 22 to make it to the meet. And it was just it overcame me. At that point, I wasn't focusing on fixing things or doing what I could on the track. I was just thinking about like, okay, you have to run fast, you have to run faster, you have to run faster. And it was like I wasn't enjoying it. I ruined it for myself. I was like, it was just like, and I ended up qualifying, but then I got bumped that following meet. But like I was there, but I didn't enjoy a second of it other than when that time popped up. Like I didn't enjoy any of it because I was so pressed, and like you kind of have to take a step back and enjoy the journey and like not put as much pressure on yourself to perform every single meet. Like you can't expect that out of yourself. You can't PR every single meet. Like you can't do that stuff. So it's like you kind of have to take a step back and just let things happen rather than forcing them, because that's when I ran. Like when I ran my best races, I was relaxed and I wasn't worried about anybody. So that's kind of why I have to remove myself from other people, because they try and hype me up. And I'm not that hype. I'm not that hype athlete that's like, oh yeah, you ready to go? Like, don't do that to me.
You don't need that.
Like, I need to sit in the corner and like people come up and be like, are you okay? I'm like, go ahead. Like that's just not how I was. And my junior year, I kind of started to figure that out. But my senior year, I was really in my zone. Like I knew what I needed to do, and it was the best year I ever had. But it's just like you kind of have to take a step back and just worry about yourself. In a sport, in a race that you run in a straight line and you don't even come in contact with anybody else, what's the point of worrying about who's in lane 5 next to you? Who cares? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they do. You can't do anything about it. Yeah. And I'm glad I kind of, it was horrible to go through. So it's hard to get through, but I'm glad I went through it, because now I can like teach that to my athletes. They're like, I'm training hard and I'm not running well. I'm doing my best. I'm trying my hardest. I'm like, that's probably why nothing good is coming out of your races. Like, let's bring those shoulders down from up here. Down to, you know what I mean? Like, you just have to take a deep breath, and when you stop worrying about things you can't control and just relax and find your low zone, that's when you'll see the most success.
Yeah, that was like the hardest part for me last year. Was like, so timeline, my sophomore year spring season, I'm a national qualifier All-American for that was like the highest accolade I had ever achieved in my athletic career. To coming back the very next season, I'm out for months, and then I have to come back from that ankle itself and try to claw my way back to that same championship standard. In every meet was just another step trying to get that spot back, because I literally didn't get it back until the second to last meet of the season or something like that.
There was a lot of toying around with that 4x1 though. There was a lot of moving pieces. So
but I had to improve every single race up until that point. And it was like, I was like beating myself up about it all the time. Because if I didn't run faster than the week I did beforehand, I was all pissy. I was in a terrible mood, and it just wasn't good for me.
I would say I've struggled with like 3 different kind of like, I guess you could say, mental health issues. Dating back to the first, I would say was my freshman year. Would be I developed a really bad body image issue, which is like called body dysmorphia. So if people don't know, it's kind of like when you don't perceive your body the same way that it looks to other people. And I had to talk a lot to Sabrina about that, because I had come in actually as a freshman and I had lost 20 pounds my freshman year, which is different because most people gain weight. But it still wasn't enough for me, because like a lot of the girls on the track team are very lean, very fit, and that's just not my body type. And that was very hard for me, because like it was like right after nationals, I remember texting Sabrina like about how I like didn't feel like I was fit enough after literally just becoming an All-American. And it just like, it was never, that freshman year, it was never about the awards, it was about how I looked. And so, I mean, it's still a struggle day in and day out, but it's definitely gotten a lot better. Like I've put on like a little bit more muscle weight, I guess, and last season helped a lot, because like I performed better and I was like at a heavier weight, and I performed the best I ever did. So it kind of showed me that like what matters is that you're healthy and that you're fueling your body, because you can't perform well if you don't take care of yourself. So like starving yourself, like I personally didn't deal with that, but I know there are people who are, but like starving yourself, constantly body checking, like that isn't going to make you a better athlete. That's gonna do things to your body that are gonna hinder your performance. And like also this year with the World Championship, there are so many different body types now in track athletes. Like it's not just sticks, like just stick skinny or like super abs or like super muscular. Like there's so many different body types. And then I would say the second one, and kind of I guess with the third, the second one was like at indoor nationals last year. So I had come off of basketball and had trained for like 2 weeks maybe 3, and we qualified our 4x4, had to go run Kennedy weight, got a 4-time All-American at that meet. And normally I talk to her, she calms me down. I don't know if she really knows that or not, but and I like cried in the bathroom before I ran the 4x4 because they asked me to anchor the race, and I didn't really have anyone to talk to. Like there was a lot going on with who was going to be on our 4x4 relay. I didn't want to be a part of that, and I just like cried because my mom wasn't there. We were like in North Carolina, like my phone was dead. I like was just like, this is just awful. And then I performed and I was fine, but that race anxiety has built in. But I think that stems from the fact that like playing basketball, I'm only racing maybe 4 or 5 times a year. So like now that I've competed 2 seasons, I like know what I'm capable of. But definitely at first it was just like, okay, see how I run this meet. I mean, like last season, every meet, like my coach had me run the race differently, see how fast I can get out, see how I can get out balanced. So that was hard, but now I feel better about it. And this year, definitely, I'm sure you can understand the transition from basketball to track. I'm still struggling with. I've talked to you about it. It's just hard. Basketball team starting practice, miss them, miss the girls, because basketball is my first love at the end of the day. Miss that like very team aspect, miss the role I had. That's been challenging, and just getting over that mental block of I'm not used. For our preseason, we're lifting super heavy and we're doing like insane workouts, like actually insane. And I normally come in and I'm not lifting heavy, we're lifting light, I'm feeling great. We're doing like 3 reps, it's like perfect. So this right now it's been hard, but I'm just like pushing. The biggest thing has been less about the workouts and how my body's feeling. It's about completing the workout, like being able to do it. And also like you're talking about injury, it's like a little bit nerve-wracking to me to be put in a position where I'm running year round. So it's like trying to decipher between like being sore, being in pain, or like just like cramping. But I'm starting to get a better gauge. But I would say like right now I'm going through that, and I had to talk to them about it, which is hard to admit, but like I had to take a day off. Like I couldn't do the workout one day. I was just in my bed. I couldn't sleep. I just had so much anxiety. So I texted my coach Neff, and I was like, can I just do the workout tomorrow on Saturday, because I just couldn't do it. And it helped a lot because I knew I just wasn't in a place to perform. And so it meant a lot to me to have someone just to be like, don't worry about it, just do the workout tomorrow.
Back to what she said before it slips my mind. Like, we've had plenty of conversations about like body image, and there's a lot that is, I guess, expected out of a female athlete. Like, oh, you're supposed to have nice legs and a big butt, and you're supposed to be ripped, and this. Like, there's so many expectations, and I think there are for men too. Like, so this is not me saying that it doesn't exist for both sides, but I feel like it's enforced pretty heavily on women, and when you don't look that way, it's like you feel out of place, you don't feel good enough, whether you're performing, like Maddy said, she won an All-American, but that's not what she was worried about. Like, she's like, oh, it's not good enough. It's like, if you are following your training for your sport and you are eating enough to refuel, the training is going to give your body the image that it is supposed to have. It doesn't matter if you looked like person A on the relay or person B on the relay. Like, your training is going to create the body that you are meant to have for that sport. Just because it doesn't look the way you think it's supposed to look or the way you want it to look. Like, I struggled a lot with that, like, just being so small while I was running track. Like, that's how I had to look to perform well. That's the body the training gave me, and I accepted it. But I hated it. I hated being so small. Like, and it's nothing looked bad about it, but I didn't like it. But that's just what you have to deal with, you know what I mean? I ran fast. That's all I really cared about. So coming from my freshman year, I was very big, I was muscular, and like I had that body that I wanted, but it wasn't allowing me to perform. So just because you don't look the way you think you're supposed to look doesn't mean it's like wrong. Like, there's so many different, like, there's a picture I sent you. It was of the women's 4x1.
Yeah,
it was like someone,
every athlete looked different.
like almost 6 foot tall, super skinny, ripped. There was a girl like 5'2". She was thick, and she still was ripped. Like, it was just like so many body types, and I loved seeing all that representation because that's huge for young women. Like, I saw this post. It was like, would you? And this, I hope this isn't offensive, but like, would you want to look like Simone Biles? And everyone's like, no. She's literally the best athlete in gymnastics ever. So it's like, it's not just like for aesthetics. Like, your training's gonna give you the body that you're meant to have to perform well. So who cares?
Yeah.
You're winning medals.
Yeah.
Like, you're winning medals. And also, thinner doesn't equal better.
And a number on a scale isn't always proportional to like how you're racing now. So like I don't weigh myself anymore. We had this conversation because in the summer I started to weigh myself, and it became an issue because like I looked leaner, but I was heavier, and that to me was just like a no. So like that's something that's really important. Is just because there's a bigger number on the scale,
that doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's bad.
And that doesn't pertain to all things. Like obviously listen to your physician.
Yes.
But
this is not medical advice.
This is not. I am not a doctor
Let
yet.
Dr. Maddy.
You're not a doctor
I'm not a doctor yet. Listen to your primary care physician. But like for athletes, like if you're lifting heavy, your weight's normally gonna be up. Don't weigh yourself after a workout. Your weight's probably gonna be up. Those are just like it seems so simple and like common sense
but
until you're in it, and
you
like it was almost like I wanted to see a bigger number because I wanted an excuse to be like, no, you don't look good. This is this is that. Like you can't do that to yourself. Like you have to just be nice to yourself, you know?
Yeah.
I've had quite a few mental health struggles. Being here and competing in sports like that. In the beginning, my freshman year, it was definitely just being away from home, and that aspect of getting through my freshman year was hard. I wasn't really thinking about, sports so much. It was just the fact being on my own was a struggle.
But far from home.
Yeah, it was like
you're six hours?
10 hours.
10 hours. Yeah, you're 10 hours from home. I'm 45 minutes.
Yeah. But also just like Andrew, I've had my fair share of injuries ever since I was little. And I, couldn't really get away from a lot of injuries, hamstring problems with football and stuff like that. I had patellar tendonitis. Oh my God, worst pain. Especially in football, all the cuts and stuff like that. But it's definitely improved since I stopped playing. That, and then also I would say I've always had a very high level expectation for myself competing. So with football, if I didn't get, if I dropped a pass or whatever, I was always hard on myself. If I didn't run the perfect route, this and that, yada yada, I was extremely hard on myself to the point where it was unhealthy. And that's when I, started going to counseling and stuff like that. And I started to learn, just, give myself grace sometimes. I can't always compete, the way I want. I can't always control, every situation. So just learning that in itself was hard. Was hard for me. But yeah, so, I've talked about my mental health struggles before, but I want to ask you guys, like, we talked about, some hard stuff, but what's your favorite moment here, being at Mount, whether that's, in school or just athletics in general? Like, what has been your favorite moment so far?
Probably, I'm going to split it up into two different ones. So, for me personally, my spring of my sophomore year, becoming an All-American for the first time was an athletic achievement to like a status that I had never reached before. So like for me it was like an aha moment almost. Like I finally I did it. We're still trying to do it again, but that was like kind of more of like an individual thing. But year after year, my union track team wins our conference championship. And winning, I'm now 3 for 3, so 6 for 6 on all 3 years, going for 4 for 4. Just the whole weekend of our conference meets are a movie unlike another. That I will cherish those memories with my team for years and years and years.
My favorite memory as an athlete for like my individual self was getting the school record my senior year in the 60 hurdles. As any athlete, you go through a lot of like hardships in your journey to like the end of your career. So I feel like mine was just insane. Like my freshman year, just not performing because I just wasn't at the right weight. And then my sophomore year coming back and like qualifying for a national championship, almost. And then junior year, I'm like ready to go. I'm like, this is my year, COVID. And then senior year, I'm like, I don't care. I don't care what there is. I don't care if there's a national championship meet or not. I'm meeting one of these goals that I had, and like I always wanted to get the school record, and like truly, I don't know if I ever really thought that I was going to be able to do it. Like I wanted to. That was like my biggest like dream to do it, but like that was like my almost unattainable goal, but like I wanted to see myself go below 9 seconds. And I like did both of them. So it was just like, I don't know, it makes everything feel worth it. Like I always try and like set 2 goals, like one that's like I want but like maybe unattainable, and then one that I know that I can do. Like I know that I can do this, and if I don't, like something, I got hurt or something like that. Like so I like try and set 2, and I just like got them both. So it was just, it made everything feel worth it from my past years. And then I guess in regard to the team, as an athlete, my favorite memory was winning outdoor on the men's and women's side, because we didn't do that in indoor. So it was a nice like cake topper. Like that was the end of my career. I don't know, that was great. And then as a coach, we hosted indoor conference last year. The men and the women won. It was the first season that like people could attend, because my senior year people couldn't come to the meets. It was like still COVID, so it was just like, I don't know, seeing everybody get through that hard time and get to that point where you can celebrate, like you can hug your parents after your race. Like I didn't get to do that. Like just seeing them enjoy the things that like you kind of take for granted, like that you didn't get to have during COVID. I don't know, just seeing everything, and like the men and the women won. It was a great meet. They broke like 10 school records. No, seriously, they broke like 5 school records at this meet, or 5 school records, and then they also broke a bunch of OAC records, like for the OAC meet. Like it was just, records were being broken and broken and broken. It was just like, I don't know, that was the best way to start off my career as a coach, like to see all that success and that hard work, and like being around this caliber of athletes as a beginner coach is like, nobody can say that like they've dealt with this many All-Americans their first year in coaching. But like I get to do that, so it's like, I don't know, just seeing all their hard work pay off is just
special.
Yeah, very special.
For me, the first one would be when I got an A on my biochemistry exam. I'm not even gonna lie.
Dang it, Maddy!
Like yes, like I have an athletic one too. But when I looked on D2L and I saw I got an A on that exam, I almost burst into tears. I was just
Like,
so.
I respect that.
I was just so. I mean, I was just
I know I
so
couldn't.
excited,
Oh, me neither.
like. Because I spend so much time outside of just like competing, just like grinding. Because like there's a lot that I have planned in store for my mother and my grandmother when I have the funds to provide for them. So just like seeing my hard work pay off is just so motivating in terms of like what I want to do, because like the field I want to go into is not, you don't get a lot of motivation if you don't want to do it. So like having to go to school for 4 more years after this is like not something, it's not like I'm going there for free. It's not like anything like that. I'm going there because I want to be a physician and I want to help other people. So it was just like really nice to see that pay off. And then the other, I would say the other 2 for athletics would be when I broke 56, which was at outdoor OAC this year, and it was pouring rain.
Horrible
and
weather.
My mom,
Absolutely
like,
awful.
I barely even warmed up because there was just like, we didn't have any time. Like we went out there and they were starting the race early. I was like, oh, okay, slay, I guess. My mom was there, my grandma was there, my uncle was there, and like I looked right at my shoe, looked at my grandpa's, like all that stuff. And then I ran the race, I came off, I like looked at the time, I have a video of it, and I literally put my hands into my eyes because I literally started like to cry, like just because like there is just something so, it's just like, I can't even describe it about them being there and hearing them and them being able to see that. Just because my grandpa didn't get to go to any of my meets, so being able to have all of them there in BW, and I live in Brunswick, so just so close to home. And then like my training partner, who's Kennedy Waite, she came up to me and hugs me, and then Storm comes up to me and you came up to me, and then like the guys are about to go, and it was just like, it was just finally like, oh, like I finally did what I've been wanting to do. And it was something I never thought I was capable of, because as I said, like I came in someone with a PR of a 106. And then I'm like running 55 now. Like, that's just insane. And then at nationals, I mean, I competed in the 4x1. This year I competed in the 4x1, the 4x4, and the open 4. So our 4x1 didn't make it past prelims, but just like having this year was insane. Like, the 400 runners this year were nuts.
Fast.
So, like, having to actually run as fast as I humanly possibly could in the 4 and the 4x4 prelims and finals. And then, like, right when we finished the 4x4, which our relay team was Kennedy Gibbons, who won the championship in the multi. Everyone hates when I say it like that.
You say multi.
Multi.
Nobody says multi.
And that, and then Kennedy Waite and Mary Mason, and just, like, because I anchor, so just, like, waiting for the baton, and I'm with girls who are, like, I'm running with girls who are running, like, 53s. Like, this is, like, nuts.
Wasn't it the fastest anchor leg, like, ever?
It was
of
insane.
all time?
It was insane.
There's a picture of it. It's crazy. It's like the fastest anchor legs ever in D3. Maddy's lined up.
I know, like, and I'm in there. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I get it, and I finish, and, like, of course, like, we wanted to win, but give it to the girls who won. I mean, Loris, they did phenomenally. I mean, their anchor, Alyssa, is insane. And when I finished, I remember just laying down, and I was like, okay, I just, like, literally did 400s in a span of, like, 2 days as fast as I possibly could.
That was a lot.
And it was just, like, I don't know, it's just, like, a feeling just, like, putting my body on the line for them. Like, every time I was like, oh, I'm so tired, I was like, no, you need to get that stick across the line. I don't know, that just is, like, it's never really about me personally. It's always just about, like, the people that are around me. And then I look up and I see my mom, my uncle, my grandma in the stands. I'm just like, this is why. That's me. What about you?
For me, I don't really have a specific, favorite moment since, being here, whether that's school or athletics. I would say the relationships I have made, one, helped me, like, shape me into the person I am today, and also just, gaining those relationships has helped me through a lot. But all my experiences, like, through football, like, all the ups and downs, that whole process in general, I would say, like I said, made me into the person I am today, and I'm grateful for that. But also, I'm excited, for this, new journey as well. So it's like I don't have a specific, moment that outweighs everything. I'm just grateful for all the experiences I've had here, the people I've met, and just that in general. But with that being said, we end every episode by giving advice to student athletes here and in the world. So let's kind of go down the line again, and any advice you can give to athletes, shoot away.
All right, I guess the thing I would say to student athletes is the biggest thing about being a student and an athlete is you gotta fall in love with the grind. We've been talking about it this whole episode, grind and working. You really have to fall in love with being busy, doing homework, not having time to eat lunch in between class and practice. Like, you gotta fall in love with the process and the work that goes behind it, just to fully reap the benefits.
I guess this goes for people in, high, like, leadership positions on their team, because this is something that I honestly struggle with now as a coach. So if you're a leader on a team, like, or even a coach, if there's a coach watch, I don't know. But if anybody's, like, hearing this that is a leader, like, if you are just trying to care for others and help others all the time, you have to take time to care for yourself, because it will get to a point where you kind of do experience that burnout. So it's like, and whether it be your teammates or not, like, you don't have to ask for it from the people that you're giving to, but, like, take time to, like, I don't know, talk with your family, like, your neighbor across the hall, or, like, I don't know, give someone a call from back home. Like, you and it doesn't even have to be a conversation of, like, a deep, like, therapy session. Like, you just need to fill yourself up one way or another. So whether that's going for a walk or just doing little self-care things. I know that's such a broad term, but, like, doing things that bring you joy or peace or whatever it might be, like, you have to continue to do those, because you can't help people if you, like, are not okay yourself. If you don't have anything left to give, there's nothing you can do for your teammates. So keep filling your cup, per se.
I guess mine would be that Like, it's not about, like, of course I can say this because I have, like, All-Americans, but, like, it's not about the All-American. Like, it's about, like, the work that you put into it, kind of like he said. Like, it's about on the days that you don't want to, just doing it. It's about remembering why you're doing what you're doing, why it's bigger than yourself. And it's about, like, being so present because, like, memories and moments are, like, outside of us. Like, you have to be present and feel the emotions. Like, some of the best memories I had, like we were just talking about, weren't even about getting the All-Americans. It was about the people that were around me. And it was about, like, the emotions I was having and the joy I was feeling. So just be present, and even if you don't get what you want, like, number one, like we were talking about, like, just be thankful that you have these opportunities to even be a part of something that's bigger than yourself, and something that will eventually have an impact on so many other people, because there are a lot of people who would give anything to be in your position.
You actually gave me this advice like 2 weeks ago, I think. Yeah, you did. You said, run your own race. And that, ever since you said that
Who
to
said
me,
that?
Andrew.
Oh, you sound like me.
You said run your own race.
I
And
love it.
I was a little, beating myself up because I wasn't, being like that first place, BP and Tyler, they were ahead of me, and I'm always trying to catch them. And I mess with BP, sometimes be like, okay, I got first place. When I beat him one time, and so anyways, so yeah, run your own race. That has stuck with me. And like you said earlier, comparison is a thief of joy. Don't let, other people's situations and their walks of life and stuff like that, reflect yours. You have to be locked in on yourself, and it's a journey. So be patient with yourself, work hard, and be grateful that you're in this position and you can play the sport that you love. So that's the advice I would give. But with that being said, I want to thank you guys for being on here today.
Thanks for having us
on the show.
I definitely appreciate y'all.
Been waiting for this one.
Got to get ready for practice tomorrow. Mentally prepared.
First day of official practice, baby.
Oh, I've been waiting for this one.
Facts. But please like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel at Mental Wealth Champs. Follow the IG page, and if you guys want to shout out your socials.
Say, am I allowed to plug my Instagram?
Hey, do what you gotta do, bro.
No.
Get those followers up. You can follow me, Coach Sab. What is my Instagram?
Isn't it like
It's Coach
You don't know
Sab.
your own IG?
Coach Sab
Stocker.
Stocker on
like
Instagram.
dot something? I don't know.
Coach.Sab Stocker.
Mine's Madison 4199, I think.
I think it is, yeah. 419.
Yeah. That's my
Something like
birthday.
that.
That's my birthday. That's why, because it's April 19th.
You were born in 1999?
No, April 19th.
Oh.
419.
The month of
Sorry,
April.
rewind. What do you mean by that?
That's why we edit.
Did you plug in yours already?
Oh, my Instagram is Andrew_McVicker. McVicker.
My IG, IC3_ the prophet. Y'all know the deal. All right, thank you guys so much for having me.
Thanks. Woo!
Deuces.
Did you just blow them a kiss?
Double.
Oh, that's